10, and our target market for this palliative care project was the general public and patients. The first step that we decided to do when it came to this campaign was identifying the problem. To do this, we conducted and analyzed online research, watched TED Ed videos, personally spoke to close friends and relatives of ours, and conducted an online survey that asked very general questions about the end of life, terminal disease, and palliative care in general. Some of our findings that we found from the online survey were 70% of the people that we asked were Christian. 61% had not considered preparing for death at all. The majority of people considered palliative care to be simply an end-of-life care. 85% of people reckoned that children should get a better understanding of death. Almost 70% of people only spoke about death when it was absolutely necessary. 91% of people agreed that it would be much harder to see a loved one suffer than to suffer themselves. When it came to the testimonials from the friends and family, some of them were very deep and moving and contained a lot of very good information from a personal point of view. If you would like to read these testimonials in more depth, here is the link to go to them. When we summarized what we had found out from our research, we realized that palliative care has 5 general problems. Number 1, people are completely unaware of what palliative care really is. Number 2, if they think they know what palliative care is, they have a misconception about it. Number 3, people see palliative care as a medical thing instead of a human thing, and people are automatically distanced from medical things because people are automatically distanced from the medical hospital feel in general because it often reminds you more of a bad thing than a good thing. Number 4, people only realize that they need palliative care after the trauma or the death when it was too late. And number 5, sometimes people do not consider palliative care in the time because they are too focused on the bad experience itself that they do not have a clear mindset to understand that they do need help with what they are going through. Moving on to our second step, once we had found these problems, we needed to develop a strategy. We needed to create a shift from the clinical idea of palliative care and make it more user-friendly, less medical, and ultimately more human. The first way of doing that is changing the term used from palliative care to palliative support, simply because support automatically feels more inviting and human. So our description for this palliative support is a personalized, holistic support and guidance system in which a community of health workers is formed to help relieve the heaviness that you and your loved ones may experience when facing an illness, a disability, or death. From this, we needed to develop a communication. We had to understand what we will be communicating to the public and how we'd like to do it. To communicate this idea of palliative support, we will dive deeper into the problems that when it came to illness and death, people do not know how to balance all the aspects. Because the physical aspects of illness seems to be the only priority, the emotional, the psychological, all of those things are brushed off. Basically, people are not balanced. And this is a very, very important thing that palliative care does do. It guides you through the various aspects to find a balance between the individual's needs during these times of illness, suffering, pre-death, and post-death. This balance can be found between physical, social, mental, and spiritual needs. So ultimately, We would communicate palliative care as a guidance to balance, something that people in this time would completely brush off and don't even know that they need. The second thing that we would love to communicate is that when it comes to an illness and death, people so often feel like they are going on this unfamiliar journey alone. This is often confusing and can leave people wondering if they're doing the right thing. And this happens to the family too. We will aim to communicate palliative care as a complete guidance system for you and your family when it comes to clarity, important decisions, and information that you need regarding your situation. It's really reassuring having someone support you to make the best choice of the situation. Just like someone on your shoulder telling you, that was the best thing to do. So in a nutshell, we would like to communicate palliative care as a guidance on this journey that you are going on. Thank you.